Hello and welcome back to this new video. Today it is a bit of a different video because I'm showing you tips and tricks about solo PvP. This is a lot of information that I collected that I think every new or old player should have, and maybe there's something you don't know yet. These are just random numbers, but with a few clicks and you can activate a setting that then shows you a lot more information about what guns the enemy is using. If you go to the three lines, near command you go to Utilities, Log and Messages, and then you click on the little flower looking thing, go to Messages in space, and then tick the tick box Weapon Type. Now, when you are fighting someone, you can see which weapons they are using. They're Light Electron Blaster 2, Smashes, Grazes, Penetrates. This is super important information to know how you should react to your enemy. If you see Archie, you want to orbit him close. If you see blasters, you want to pull range. And like this, you can get a lot more information really quick. Now it's autocannons. And here you can see it even works with drones. It shows you which drones the enemy is using. Acolytes, warriors, hobgoblins. So you don't have to check your overview and you can just look at the damage numbers and gain lots of important information. Okay, this next test is gonna be about rockets, because I heard many disputes about this and people arguing which is better on frigate fights. Because faction rockets have way more application, but a lot less DPS, while rage rockets have way more DPS, but less application. So the question is one web enough to slow down an AB frigate enough so faction rockets actually rage rockets actually apply, or do you need faction to hit? Here is the first test with rage rockets. You see the timer starts exactly when I start shooting, and Luka is my corp mate, and yeah, she agreed to be my test bunny. The timer will end when she has 0% shield left, and then we are going to do the same thing with the faction rockets to see if they kill it actually faster. You see my average volley is between 120 and 125. It is varying, that means the application is not 100% perfect, but it stays around the 120, it never drops below 120. We are 44 seconds in, 37% shield left. By the way, Luka is orbiting me at 4 kilometers in both fights with an AB, with a maximum speed of 1,300 meters per second. And I'm using the same fit on a Condor without application bonus. And you see 12% left, 8% left, 5%, 0%. Exactly 1 minute 30 seconds. So here we are with the faction rockets, and we're gonna do the same test again and see how long it takes. You see the volleys are constantly staying at 118, which means the application is perfect, but it is limited because of the lower DPS. And it never goes higher than 118. So my point is, well, already proven, because the rage rockets had never dropped below 120. So it is a small difference, but it is a difference, and with my current skills and yeah, on a ship without application bonus, rage rockets are better. Of course, this varies from your ship, from your enemy, and of course, how much skills you have. And there is also the blue pill booster, I think it is, that can give you missile application penalty. So you lose missile application if you are unlucky. And then, of course, faction is the better choice. But in a standard fight like this, with about 60 million skill points that I have, yeah, rage rockets are better. Stop shooting, 1% shield left, and at exactly 1 minute 18 seconds, the faction rockets shot Luka out of shields. So yeah, in this case, rage is better than faction. Of course, I don't claim that this is the only possible outcome of this test, but yeah, for me, the question is cleared. I will keep on using rage like I did before. Okay, this next clip is super interesting because it is about how fast weapons burn out when you overheat them. And I did lots of testing on them, on this, and I found out that CCP must have changed this not too long ago. Because it was always the case that when you burned out your guns, sometimes when you ungrouped them, one of them, or maybe even two of them, still worked. But apparently they changed this because, you see, I'm just starting to shoot Luka again, and I have 2 empty slots in between the 2 guns, so the heat damage can really good spread, and they don't damage each other too much. And now I skipped a bit ahead, where I'm almost burnt out, and now the guns are burnt out, and both guns are burnt out. And this is interesting because during the whole time I checked, the guns were always exactly the same, on the exact same heat damage level. So it is not working anymore that when you ungroup your guns, sometimes still one of them works. That is not the case anymore. They always burn out at the same rate. The interesting thing to know now would be if you have ungrouped guns, if they burn out at different rates, but that would have been too extensive testing for this rather short video. So this next test is, again, heat damage testing. On both clips I'm heating my webs till they burn out. On the top one I have the webs inside, well, they are the AB and scram are on the outside and the webs are in the inside. And on the bottom clip the webs are on the outside. And this is to prove that when your module is at the edge, it gets less heat damage than when it is enclosed by other modules. So I'm just gonna let this play out. You can see that on the top the heat damage will rise rather quickly, while on the bottom it stays low. Of course, you want to put the modules you want to overheat most on the edges, which is usually not the webs. Usually it's AB and scram. But for this test I overheated 2 webs, so it is exactly the same module at exactly the same overheat rate. Both vids are exactly the same, and I'm webbing the same NPC, so it's... yeah. On the top you see the 2 webs are almost burned out already. Boom, both burned out, while on the bottom they still work. But you see on the bottom, the heat is actually moving on to the afterburner, and the afterburner burns out before the webs burn out. So you see the modules inside get way more heat from the modules outside. Now one of the webs is burned out, but the second one is still working. Still working. Still working. And now, finally, it burns out. So, you see, it is really important how you place your modules. Also with, for example, a condor, a kite condor, you want to leave an empty slot or an offline module in between your guns, so it can absorb heat. Offline module and empty slot absorb the same amount of heat though, so it is not important which one of those you do. Sweetonia has a video on that where he shows that offline modules absorb the same amount of heat. But yeah, so don't put something useless like a salvager in there and leave it online, because it's not that good. This next clip is to show that when you land inside a Plex, or after any warp, you have 10 seconds of invulnerability. I told Luka to try to lock me from the start, and she's trying that, but she can't do it. And this gives me time to look at the ship and see, okay, this is a rocket condor. I can see the weapons, and every weapon is looking different. And now Luka has me locked. That was exactly 10 seconds where I had time to decide what I want to do. In this next clip, it is to show that when you web someone who is warping off, the warp accelerates and they warp off sooner. You see, Luka is warping off, I web her, and immediately she's gone. So that is also very important if you are sliding into a Plex and you see someone there that you want to tackle. Don't put the web on them before you have the scram on them. Unless, of course, the other one is a kiter. But in general, if you want to tackle someone, also at a station or at the gate, if you're gate camping, don't web them before you can do something to them to make them stop warping, because otherwise you just accelerate their escape. Okay, and finally one last thing. which is a zkill board, a very useful website where you can check people's fits, so you know if you have a chance to actually fight them or not. I'm usually not using zkill board because I feel like it's a bit of cheating, and as I'm not so new anymore, I don't feel like I need the help, but for newer players it's super important to know how to use this. Up here you can copy the ship ID and then put it behind a character ID. And this is where it gets interesting. If you now press enter, you get all the kills and losses of that pilot with that ship. See, Tien Saharin killing someone in a Condor, Tien Saharin killing someone again in a Condor, and so on. Again the same. And you also get the loss mares if zkill loads. There you go. Where I lost the Condor to the Kimura. So like that you can program zkill to show you exactly what you need to know. You can also do it with any ship pretty much. So here I can copy the Punisher ship ID and put it in place of the Condor ship ID. There we go. And now you have all my kills and losses of the Punisher. And then finally, one last trick you can do is also choose a specific solar system. It is not quite as useful as the rest, but still, you can copy the system ID and then put it behind the character and ship ID, press enter, and you get all the kills or losses of that pilot in that system with that ship. So you have exactly the information you need. Okay, that's all the useful tips and tricks I have for you today. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you enjoyed. Of course, I'm always interested in other people's opinions, so please, if you feel like I did something wrong, or if you have something to add, please let me know, put it in the comments, or send me an email, whatever. And yeah, I would like to hear your opinion on this. So yeah, soon I'm gonna be back with PvP videos. I have a few ideas on my mind that are gonna come soon. And yeah, as always, have a good day and see you soon. Bye bye.